Hello everyone, my name is Ebenezer and I'm the last of the family. I'm the last out of 5 siblings and this is my wonderful wife.
Hi, I'm Jujo and I'm blessed with wonderful in-laws.
Hi, I'm Emmanuel Techimenson, the other twin and the fourth of my parents' 5 incredible children. And guess who we have here? My wonderful, fantabulous wife.
Hi, I'm Sabina.
And this is our smart little prince. He's Manuel Jim Techimenson, named after my awesome dad and his grandfather, James Techimenson.
My name is Eva. I came as the third born amongst 5 siblings, the only girl, and I'm indisputably the smartest amongst them. This is my husband, he's John. We have 2 beautiful daughters, Jalisa, the first one, the second one is Janice over here.
Hi, my name is Jerry. I am the second of 5 children born to James and Gladys Techimenson. Well, I know my sister, she's gonna tell you she's the smartest, but that's fine, But I'm just gonna introduce.
Let her have it.
Yeah, she should have it, but I'll let you know why I'm the special. Okay, so I'm Jerry. This is my my beautiful first daughter. She's Janelle, J, right? Okay, keep that in mind. And this is my second born, Jackie. Jacqueline, but you know, Jackie for short. Okay, this is my beautiful wife for me.
Hi, I'm Evans. I am the first of 5 siblings, and this is my family. A few of the folks are not around. Samuel is in school. We have Samuel, we have William, we have Mikhail, and we have Mindy right here. Christabel, who happens to be my adopted daughter and daughter-in-law at the same time. It's just really hard to keep up with that. But yeah, she's somewhere. She's lost. Anyway, you have something to say? That is my wife, by the way, and she calls herself Lady.
So growing up, we've always been with mommy and daddy, and mommy and daddy have always been together. They are very supportive parents. Okay, there are 3 main things I can say about mommy and daddy. They have integrity, they are very responsible, and they are very spiritual. They provided a very good spiritual atmosphere for us to grow up, and I think to a very good extent it's helped us in our individual lives till today.
I have an amazing family. One of the best gifts my parents gave me is my siblings. Evans is magical. Dude's always ahead. I mean, he can call the president with a dead phone. Who does that? In toto. Jerry is a genius. I mean, he's the architect of anything. Built and lived in his own house as a teen. Wood ghetto in daddy's backyard. Eva is a special one, our one and only sister. Eben is super calm, gentle, the lighter version of me. I mean, these are awesome people.
It was very beautiful. It was quite strict. Dad was more on the strict side, and I remember till now my friends still make fun of me because things that they would usually not ask their parents for permission, I would have to. Because with daddy, even if you want to take fresh air outside the gate, you still had to ask permission. Mommy was all prayers. We used to have prayers in the morning devotions and evening devotions. And I remember even at a very tender age, Mom will have us prepare to lead worship and pray, take turns in praying. And overall, I would say it was a very beautiful experience.
Yeah, but it's actually been fun. It's been a great life. I couldn't have asked for a better family. My dad actually is a reason for a lot of the things that I do. You know, I'm sure my siblings can say the same. He is the technical savvy guy. I mean, his technical prowess is just something else. The guy is a handyman. You know, he can fix anything. Sink, toilet, broken table, toys. You know, we broke a few things at home, but Dad would just, you know, just go pick it up and fix it. We weren't gonna call any electrician and all that. This man taught me how to wire a house. It's just been great, you know. And I can say a lot about my mom. You know, just fond memories. You know, we just wake up to my mom's prayers. Probably like maybe 6:30 a.m. I'm sure that's when we wake up, but she starts to pray a long, way long before we wake up. And the song I actually played is one of her favorite. I made it a little jazzy, but that's the song we always woke up to. My dad is my first music teacher, really, and I really want to thank him for that, because I've been on the biggest stages in the world, you know, thanks to him. I'm also a producer. You know, I got a lot of that from him as well.
My parents were really blessed. I mean, they had really incredible kids, very smart. And I mean, by smart, I mean number 2, number 3, number 4 and 5 are twins. I mean, these kids can literally do anything. The youngest of us, you know, he's here in the United States, making driving cars, you know, with Intel. Emmanuel, you know, the other twin is in Ghana. He studied actuarial something, you know, with maths. You know, Eva, growing up, topped the whole country, you know, when it's coming up. Jerry is like a genius. I mean, these folks, like, they had Einsteins. You know, I was the firstborn. I was the only Paco guy, you know, baby. But you know how it is. Firstborn, I had to clear the way for all those dudes, you know, to come in. Growing up in Ghana, Accra was a lot of fun. You know, we grew up literally with no responsibility, just walking around naked, running around, doing all that fun stuff. My dad was a marine engineer. He was mostly gone overseas. And I really enjoyed that part, because when he wasn't around as the first son, I was extremely happy. I was always waiting for him to just be gone. I get to drive all the cars. I get to, you know, be around the house and be like the little daddy around. It was kind of cool. I was my mom's personal driver. At age 12, I was driving her all over the place. You know, just stack my little pillows, sit on it so that I can literally see, you know, right in front of me. And that was a lot of fun. An opportunity came for me to, you know, just travel and, you know, travel overseas. I was very excited about this travel for a reason being the fact that I had told all my friends, everybody, the girls, everybody, that, you know, I'm always in America, I'm always in London. I'd never traveled before. So finally, I got that opportunity to travel to, you know, really make it official. Yeah, I traveled.
Yeah, so I remember Daddy used to be very strict, but then Daddy is very strict. He's the disciplinarian. If you make any mistake, he's not gonna spare you at all. And yeah, I mean, such a training really helped us growing up. And also Mommy is the loving kind. I mean, she has a very big heart for everybody, even for our friends and other relatives. She's the big-hearted woman, you know. And I mean, when you are sick, Mommy treats you so well. You know, she's a TLC kind of woman, tender, loving care, and she really takes care of you. You feel good in her arms. Yeah.
Dad was so concerned with our safety that while many of our friends had access to bicycles, he kept declining our requests for them. until perhaps Eben wrote that epic letter. I don't know if it ever got to him, but you just got to see that letter. Finally, when he got us one lady's bike, thanks to our princess, it doubtless came with a lock and rules, mostly unspoken. So one day when I realized he was getting ready to go to town, I hurriedly hid the bike at the backyard so he doesn't see it and be reminded of it. I jumped in excitement the moment he stepped out of the house and ran to the backyard. And oh my days, I wasn't as smart as I thought. Daddy is really smart. Oh, and he is hilarious. You will laugh your heart out when he's in his elements.
So what I remember that today just makes me laugh is I had a guy friend. We used to be in the same church. He came to visit me home because I was sick. And usually when you get visitors, parents will usually hand them an album or something to entertain them, maybe a TV on or something. But guess what? My mom handed him a Bible, and a big Bible at that. It was the Jerusalem Bible, very huge. So I woke up and I saw my friend hold the Bible, with his head buried in the Bible, reading it. And I asked him, okay, what's up with this Bible? And he goes like, Mom gave this to me. And I'm like, yeah, Mom handed the dude the Bible. I thought it was so funny.
And I can't overemphasize the games that my dad introduced me to. A lot of board games like chess, Scrabble, there's one called Mastermind, Chinese checkers, so many games, and when you're 5 years old and your dad is playing Scrabble and chess with you, I mean, it's something you grow up with. It builds you up, and intellectually you kind of you think, and if your dad is your coach at chess and you get to a point where you're beating him, but he was good, he was really good. And so many things I attribute to my dad, So, yeah, I could go on and on and on about my dad, but it's really been great, but the kind of home that I grew up with. I'm really thankful to God for that.
Growing up, it was mad fun. There were lots of fun memories. My dad comes from work. Tired. I remember one time, he came, he said, hey, I'm hungry. What's in there? He goes to the kitchen. There wasn't much. So guess what he did? He said, well, there is no stew, there is no food for me. All right, go to the wayside and get me some stew and some fish and let me do some gari. And then just while I was about to go, he said, no, wait. This might take too long. You know what? I'm going to give you the bowl with the gari. And then he handed it over to me, poured water in it, and he says, well, it's going to take a while for this to settle, and I'm really hungry. I don't want to waste any time. So carry the bowl of gari with the water, go all the way to the wayside, and come back with that gari. It would have been settled with the stew that you bought, so that I would be able to, pretty much use it. I'm like, what? Did he just say that? That was like, I'm like, damn it, dude is funny. He can be like so funny.
So one of the main lessons I've learned from my parents is the stability of their marriage. I mean, yeah, they do have some few hitches here and there, but it's settled within a day. You never see mommy leaving the house or daddy leaving the house. Their marriage has been quite stable, and it's something I look forward to. It's one of the main things that I look at, and I want to have that kind of marriage. I want to make sure that my marriage is stable, and whatever rules they follow, I want to follow and do much better.
Put God first in everything. Humility. They are a model couple. Lovebirds, friends.
What I've learned from my parents, watching their lives together as a couple, and how they go about their things and how they raised us, and I'm taking that with me with all seriousness, is we cannot succeed without God. They put God first and God in the middle of everything they did. And I look at their backgrounds, their individual backgrounds, and out of nothing, they've made a beautiful life with beautiful children. And when I look at it all, I know that it's because they deeply love God and they put God first and they trust God before anything. And I'm hoping that I do the same. That is the deepest lesson that I've taken from their lives together.
Daddy was a disciplinarian, and he was a disciplinarian, but he was also very disciplined. You know, there are people who can tell you what to do, but they never really did it themselves. My dad would not attend a meeting late, not even by a second. You know, we're running to catch the bus. We would just be trotting, and you know, we kind of remember him being the tall, even though we are actually taller than him now. But you know, growing up, you see your dad as like tall, you know, and you really have to run behind him if you're trying to catch up. You know, he was never late, so he didn't want us getting late for any event.
I grew up seeing my mom rise from the very bottom all the way up, you know, even in the civil service. And that was remarkable. My dad, on the other hand, it really so inspired me, seeing him as a marine engineer and the very first chief engineer that Ghana produced locally. This created a sense of aggressiveness, desire, and a certain level of passion and drive for me to be at the top. It made me believe that I can be anything in life. It made me believe that not only will I be able to take off in a flight 35,000 feet above the earth, but that I can do anything. I can soar and be anywhere. I can become anybody and everything.
So I remember coming home from school one day and meeting mommy. Mommy wasn't well. You know, my parents wouldn't really tell you if they are not feeling well and all that. So I didn't even know it in school. But coming home, she couldn't even really get up from the bed, and I realized she had started using a walking stick. And this was quite unusual. I mean, it was quite alarming to us. So I got to know that, well, she's not been well for some time, and she's actually been visiting the hospital, and they're trying to see what the issue is. And I was able to visit the hospital with her quite a number of times, the 37 Military Hospital, and things weren't getting better.
So the first time I noticed my mom was not well was at the airport when I visited Ghana, and my dad, my mom, and my other siblings came to the airport. And when I saw her, quite frankly, and the best way to describe this would be in my local language. When I saw her, imusun shami, and what that means is that I panicked. I seriously panicked because she looked very, very sick. She looked like something was terribly wrong. She was frail. She couldn't walk. She was weak. She looked very unhealthy. And that was not how I left her when I came to the US. And none of us knew. So I was here in the US with my brother Evans, and we didn't know until I saw her in Ghana. And my parents are very fond of this. If something is wrong, they will not tell us because they don't want to burden us with a whole lot. So I picked up the phone and I called Evans in the US, and I literally had to be very honest with him and tell him how I saw mom. You know, and he panicked too because that's not our mom. That's not a mom we knew. So immediately Evans started making arrangements to have her come to the US to be attended to. So all of us, all the siblings, Jerry had to quit his work. Ebenezer, Emmanuel, myself, we started, and Daddy, we all started gathering resources, and we got ourselves together to fly her over here, and that was the beginning of a long, long journey.
I didn't realize that my mom had been dealing with a really serious issue. We didn't know what it was. I didn't even know she was sick because I was never home. I was doing church work, church boy. Till one day I came home, and my mom was on the couch. My dad was on the couch opposite her. We were just chatting. I didn't know. My mom was just sitting there, and then I think my mom wanted to go use the restroom, so my dad got up and tried to scoop her up. You know, I mean, that's when I was like, oh, okay. I knew you weren't really feeling well, but I thought it was one of those things where you wake up in the morning not feeling well. I didn't know it was that serious. So I just saw how my dad tried to scoop her up, you know, from the chair just so she could go use the restroom. It was at that point that I think the Holy Spirit was just telling me, hey, you know, you young man, you know, you're doing ministry, and your mom is actually home and suffering. You're watching your dad, you know, scoop up your mom, and this is something you should be doing. I think at the point we had decided that we're going to take my mom to the U.S., you know, and my dad was the person to do it. So at that instant, when I was watching them, I think something just occurred to me, like, man, you can't do this. You are dishonoring your parents by watching your dad, who is, you know, who is you know well in his old age, you know, if I can put it that way. You watch it, and I think that the thing that alarmed me most was that when he scooped her up, they both almost fell. You know, that it actually did something to me. So the next day, I went to the agency that bought the ticket, or that serviced the flight ticket, and I changed my dad's name and I put my name there. You know, because it was just a conviction. It was just so strong. I just couldn't let this happen. You know, so I did that, and then by I think the next couple of days we're well on our way to the States. You know, the journey on there was something else.
Challenges are hard. Trials are really tough. It was after 5 years of being in the United States before I would see my parents again. It was exciting to have them visit around 2006. It was great to see them again. They visited for a short time, they went back. The next time I saw my mom, it was devastating. Someone you've lived with for almost your entire life. To see her not being able to walk, not being able to do anything. She couldn't lift a spoon. It's unimaginable to experience these things on your own. It is foreseeable and easy to relate to someone else's trials. But this was one that was staring and glaring right at me. So, if for a normal human being, you have a muscle enzyme where your count when you're normal is, say, between 40 and 100. We call what the medical field, they call it your CK count. That is your muscle enzyme. When you're sick, you have issues with your muscles, it inflates. So when it's bad, when it's really, really bad, the count is 200. So the lower the better. Just to put it in perspective, what was wrong with my mom and the seriousness of it, 40 to 100 normal, between 100 and 200, really, 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 really bad. Okay, my mom's was 10,000. It's been everywhere. 37, military hospital, Kolibu, all specialists from Cuba, from wherever. She either got misdiagnosed or just plainly nobody knew what was wrong with her. This was death right there staring at us. So when she got in, it was already tough. It was late. And it was heartbreaking that I couldn't take her to my own then matrimonial home. I wasn't allowed to. I called my friend Ellis, who lived in Pearland. Hey, my mom is here and I really need help for one night. She was extremely weak, couldn't move, couldn't walk. She walked like a palm branch that you try to sit up. She was just literally just contoured all over. Again, it looks like death was extremely near. We took her to get some rest. And the next day, we went to the ER. And that was the beginning of a long journey. A journey that would last for several years. A long way to recovery. It was so serious that the University of UT Physicians Medical Center hadn't seen anything like that. They had to use her as a case study. I remember with no insurance, the need for the hospitals that admitted her to give her drips. For one drip was $8,000. It was God. But we pulled through. We have so much to be thankful for. We have life. We have hope. Because God showed up. And one of the most incredible things about this woman, my mother, was, or has always been and still, how very hopeful she is. She never loses hope. Growing up, we got used to her not sleeping in bed, but sleeping on her knees. You go in her room and she is on her knees and her arms over the bed. This is how she slept. How can you doubt that the place where there seemed to be no hope, that there will be no hope? She knew her God. Even when she couldn't move, she never lost her voice. She never lost her spirit. You could not break her spirit. One heck of a prayerful woman. Never seen anything like that. To me, it's like a bank account that her prayers always just got deposited in that bank account. And we, today, the siblings, we just cash it, we just withdraw. We just withdraw. She deposits, we withdraw. She deposits, we withdraw. She's an amazing woman. This is what we are grateful for.